Ever feel like you're stuck in a loop? Like you set these, ambitious goals, maybe even start strong, but then life gets in the way, and suddenly, boom, it's like 3 months later, and you're right back where you started.
Happens to the best of us.
Oh, I think we've all been there.
Absolutely. Maintaining that motivation and discipline over time.
Yeah.
That's the real challenge.
That is, and that's where our deep dive today comes in.
Okay.
We're exploring how AI is stepping up to become like our ultimate accountability partner.
Interesting.
And we're not just talking about like simple reminder apps here. Think AI that learns your habits, anticipates your needs,
right,
and provides personalized support to help you reach your goals.
Right.
Whether it's crushing that to-do list, getting in shape, or even prioritizing mental wellness.
It's pretty fascinating how quickly this technology is evolving. We've got research articles on AI's role in shaping talent management, blog posts touting it as like the future of self-improvement, and even some pieces raising important questions about the potential downsides. It seems like, everyone's talking about it.
Yeah. Let's start with the productivity front. We all know how easily a to-do list can turn into a source of stress, right?
Oh, tell me about it.
But what if you had an app that went beyond just listing tasks?
Okay.
Imagine an app that analyzes your schedule, deadlines,
right,
and even your energy levels to suggest the best time to tackle each item.
That's exactly what apps like Todoist and Anyity that are doing. They use AI to move beyond static lists and create dynamic, personalized workflows.
Okay.
It's not just about, time management.
Right.
It's about understanding your individual patterns and optimizing your effort.
So it's more than just setting reminders. It's about making your entire workflow smarter.
Exactly.
Okay.
And what's really interesting is that these apps can learn from your behavior over time.
Oh, wow.
So the more you use them, the better they get at predicting your needs and helping you prioritize effectively.
So it's like having a personal assistant who not only keeps you organized, but actually learns and adapts to your work style.
That's a great way to put it. And this idea of personalized support extends to the world of fitness as well. Think about the evolution of fitness trackers. We've gone from basic step counters to devices like the Fitbit, which provides insights into sleep, activity levels, even stress.
It's almost like having a mini health coach on your wrist.
Right.
Right.
But how does AI actually play into that?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Well, Fitbit collects all this data about your body and then uses AI to analyze it and offer personalized recommendations. So it's not just about tracking your steps. It's about understanding how your body responds to different activities and suggesting adjustments to your routine.
So it can actually help you make smarter choices about how you exercise and recover.
Exactly. And then there's MyFitnessPal.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Which takes this personalized approach to the next level with nutrition. It's like having a pocket nutritionist who analyzes your food logs and suggests meal plans that fit your individual goals and preferences.
I've heard about MyFitnessPal, but I've always been a little skeptical of those calorie counting apps.
I get it.
How does AI actually make it work?
Well, it's not just about counting calories. The AI in MyFitnessPal analyzes your food choices, looks at your activity levels, and considers your dietary restrictions to generate meal plans that are tailored to you. It's not about deprivation. It's about making healthier choices that fit your lifestyle.
So it's more about creating sustainable habits than just following a generic diet plan.
Exactly. And this concept of personalized fitness extends to workout routines as well. There are now AI-powered apps that create custom workouts based on your fitness level, goals, and even the equipment you have available.
So it's like having a personal trainer without the hefty price tag.
Right.
Yeah, but how do these apps actually tailor the workouts?
They use algorithms that take into account your past workouts, your progress over time, and your stated goals. They can even adapt the routine in real time based on your feedback. It's like having a coach who constantly adjusts the plan.
Wow.
To maximize your results.
That's pretty cool. So we talk about AI helping us stay organized and get in shape.
Right.
But where I think this technology has the potential to be truly revolutionary is in the mental wellness space.
Absolutely.
We're seeing a surge in AI-powered chatbots like Wobot and Wysa that offer support for stress, anxiety, and even depression.
That's right. These AI companions provide a safe and accessible space for people to express their feelings, learn coping mechanisms, and build resilience. And what's really powerful is that they can offer support 24/7.
Right.
Something that traditional therapy often can't provide.
I think that accessibility is huge, especially in a world where mental health resources are often stretched thin.
For sure.
But how do these chatbots actually work?
Yeah.
Is it just pre-programmed responses?
Right.
Or is there more to it?
It's definitely more sophisticated than that. While they do rely on pre-programmed scripts to some extent,
Okay.
these chatbots also use natural language processing and machine learning to understand the nuances of human conversation. They can analyze your language,
Okay.
identify patterns in your mood,
Interesting.
and even tailor their responses to your specific needs over time.
So they're not just offering generic advice.
Right.
They're actually learning and adapting to your individual situation.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
It is. And this brings us to the power of data-driven insights.
Okay.
Which is really at the core of how AI is changing the game for personal accountability.
Okay.
These tools are constantly collecting data about our behavior, analyzing it, and then offering feedback and recommendations based on that analysis.
So it's not just about gut feelings or willpower anymore.
Right.
It's about having objective data to inform our decisions.
Precisely. And there's even research to back this up.
Oh, wow.
A study by Mishi et al. Back in 2017 showed that personalized AI-driven feedback can be incredibly effective for promoting positive behavior change.
So it's not just hype, it's actually backed by science. That's really encouraging.
It is, but as with any powerful technology, there are also important considerations to keep in mind.
Right, because no technology is perfect.
Yeah.
And AI is no exception.
Yeah.
So let's dive into some of those potential downsides.
Absolutely. And that's what we'll be exploring in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay.
We'll take a closer look at the ethical considerations surrounding AI, the potential for bias, and the importance of maintaining our own autonomy, even as we embrace the power of these tools.
Okay, so we've covered the exciting potential of AI to boost our productivity, fitness, and mental well-being. But now let's shift gears a bit and talk about the flip side.
Okay.
Because like you mentioned, there are some potential downsides to consider.
That's right. And one of the biggest concerns is the issue of data privacy. These AI tools are constantly collecting information about us.
Yeah.
From our daily habits and preferences to our deepest anxieties and fears.
Wow.
So we need to ask ourselves, who has access to this data?
Right.
How is it being used?
Yeah.
And what are the potential risks?
That's a great point. Because on one hand, we want these tools to be personalized and effective.
Right.
Which means they need to gather data about us.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, we don't want to feel like our privacy is being violated.
Right.
Or that our information could be used against us.
Exactly. It's a delicate balance.
Yeah.
And it's not just about privacy, it's also about security.
Okay.
What happens if this data falls into the wrong hands? Could it be used to manipulate or exploit us? These are questions we need to be asking.
And I think it's important to remember that these AI systems are ultimately designed by humans.
Right.
Which means they can reflect human biases. So we need to be aware of the potential for algorithmic bias, where the AI system might perpetuate or even amplify existing societal biases.
Absolutely.
Right.
One of the sources we looked at, a blog post discussing the ethical dilemmas of AI, brought up a really interesting point. It argued that even with the best intentions, AI systems can inadvertently perpetuate biases because they're trained on data that reflects the real world, which unfortunately is often riddled with biases.
So even if the developers aren't intentionally building bias into the system, the data itself can introduce those biases?
Yeah.
That's a bit unsettling.
It is, and it highlights the need for ongoing scrutiny and careful design to mitigate these risks. We need to be vigilant about identifying and addressing bias in the data sets used to train AI systems, and we need to develop mechanisms for accountability and oversight.
So it's not enough to just develop these tools and release them into the world. We need to be constantly evaluating them, refining them, and making sure they're being used ethically and responsibly.
Exactly. And that brings us to another important consideration, the potential for over-reliance on these tools.
While AI can be incredibly helpful for staying on track and achieving our goals, we don't want to become so dependent on it that we lose our own sense of agency and motivation.
It's an interesting point.
Yeah.
Because in a way, these AI tools are like super-powered assistants. But we still need to be the ones driving the car, so to speak.
I love that analogy because ultimately the goal is to empower individuals, not create a world where we're all just passively following the dictates of algorithms.
We still need to cultivate our own critical thinking skills.
Yes.
Our own decision-making abilities, and our own sense of responsibility for our choices and actions.
Absolutely. And that's why I think it's so important to view AI as a partner, not a crutch.
Okay.
You can offer guidance, support, and even a little nudge now and then.
Yeah.
But it's up to us to set our own goals, make our own decisions, and take ownership of our own journey.
And this idea of partnership applies not just to individuals, but also to the workplace.
Oh, absolutely.
We're seeing more and more companies integrating AI into their operations, from talent management to performance evaluation.
Yeah.
So how do you see this evolving in the future of work?
That's a great question. And it's one that a lot of people are grappling with right now.
Yeah.
One of our sources, an article on the use of AI in talent management, argued that AI has the potential to revolutionize the workplace, but it also emphasized the importance of human leadership and oversight.
So it's not about handing over the reins to the robots.
Right.
It's about finding the right balance between human intelligence and artificial intelligence.
Exactly. The article suggested that AI can be incredibly helpful for tasks like identifying top talent, personalizing employee development plans, and even fostering a more inclusive and equitable workplace.
It sounds like AI could be a powerful tool for addressing some of the systemic biases that have plagued workplaces for far too long.
Right.
But how do we make sure it's being used for good and not just replicating those biases? That's the key question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it brings us back to the importance of human judgment, ethics, and accountability.
Okay.
We need to make sure that AI systems are being designed and implemented with fairness and equity in mind.
Right.
And we need to have human oversight to ensure that they're not perpetuating harmful stereotypes or creating unfair advantages.
So it's not just about the technology itself.
Right.
It's about how we use it.
Yeah.
Who controls it?
Yeah.
And what values are embedded in its design and deployment.
Exactly. And I think this applies to all aspects of AI integration, not just the workplace.
Okay.
We need to be having these conversations about ethics, bias, and accountability.
Yeah.
Across all domains where AI is being used.
Yeah.
From healthcare and education
Right.
to criminal justice and social media.
Because the potential impact of this technology is so vast.
Absolutely.
We need to make sure we're using it wisely and thoughtfully.
Yes.
Not just blindly embracing it without considering the potential consequences.
Absolutely. And this brings us back to our listener who might be feeling a bit overwhelmed by all of this.
Yeah.
It's a lot to take in, and it's natural to have both excitement and apprehension about the future of AI.
Right. Because on one hand, we're hearing about all these amazing possibilities.
Right.
How AI can help us achieve our goals, live healthier lives, and even create a more just and equitable world.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, we're also hearing about the potential risks.
Right.
The privacy concerns, the ethical dilemmas.
It's complex landscape, for sure, and there are no easy answers.
Right.
But I think one of the most important things we can do is stay informed. Engage in these conversations, and advocate for responsible AI development and deployment.
So it's not about being for or against AI.
Right.
It's about being thoughtful, critical, and engaged in shaping how this technology is used.
Exactly.
And how it impacts our lives.
Exactly. And that's what we'll be exploring in the final part of our deep dive. We'll talk about some practical steps listeners can take to navigate this new world of AI.
Okay.
How to choose the right tools, how to protect their privacy, and how to make sure they're using these technologies in a way that aligns with their values and goals. So we've talked about the potential of AI as an accountability partner, all the ways it can help us achieve our goals, and some of the ethical considerations, right?
Right. But now I'm kind of curious, what does all this mean for, like, our listener?
Yeah.
You know, what practical steps can they take?
Yeah, to navigate this new world of AI and make it work for them.
Exactly, yeah.
That's a great question. And I think it's important to start with a sense of empowerment.
Okay.
You know, AI can feel intimidating, but at the end of the day, it's a tool.
Right.
And like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill, depending on the intentions and actions of the user. So the first step is to approach AI with a critical and discerning mind. Don't just blindly accept the recommendations of an algorithm or hand over your decision-making power to a chatbot.
So it's not about replacing our own judgment with AI.
Right.
It's about using AI to enhance our own capabilities and make, more informed choices.
Exactly. And that starts with understanding what AI is good at and what it's not so good at. AI excels at analyzing vast amounts of data, identifying patterns, and generating predictions.
Okay.
It can help us see things that we might miss on our own. And it can offer insights that can inform our decisions.
Right.
But it's not a substitute for human intuition, creativity, or empathy.
So it's about finding that sweet spot where AI and human intelligence complement each other.
Right.
Where we leverage the strengths of both to achieve better outcomes.
Precisely. And that brings us to the practical side of things. When choosing AI tools, it's crucial to do your research. Look for companies with transparent privacy policies that clearly explain how your data is being collected, used, and protected.
Data privacy is a huge concern, especially with these tools that are constantly gathering information about our habits, preferences, and even our emotions.
It is. And it's not just about preventing misuse of data.
Okay.
It's also about ensuring that these systems are being used responsibly and ethically. Look for companies that are committed to fairness, transparency, and accountability in their AI development.
So it's not just about finding the coolest app with the most features. It's about finding companies that align with your values.
Exactly. And once you've found a tool you're comfortable with, start by setting clear goals for what you want to achieve. Don't just dive in blindly and hope for the best. Think about what areas of your life you want to improve, whether it's productivity, fitness, mental well-being, or something else entirely.
So it's about being intentional and strategic in how you use these tools, rather than just letting them dictate your actions.
Right. And remember that it's okay to experiment. Try different apps, see what works for you, and don't be afraid to adjust your approach along the way. AI is a rapidly evolving field, and new tools and techniques are emerging all the time.
Yeah, it's a bit like trying on different hats, seeing which one fits best, and knowing that you can always switch hats if something doesn't feel quite right.
That's a great way to put it. And as you experiment, pay attention to how these tools make you feel.
Okay.
Are they empowering you or making you feel more anxious? Are they helping you achieve your goals or just creating more distractions?
It's about being mindful of the impact these tools are having on your life.
Yes.
Both positive and negative.
Exactly. And if something doesn't feel right, don't hesitate to step back, reassess, and maybe even try a different approach. The most important thing is to remember that you are in control. You have the power to choose how you use AI and to shape its role in your life.
So it's not about letting AI take over. It's about harnessing its power to achieve your own goals and live a more fulfilling life.
Precisely. And I think that's a powerful message for our listener. AI can be a force for good in our lives, but only if we use it wisely and intentionally. It's up to each of us to embrace its potential while also guarding against its pitfalls.
That's a great note to end on. It's a reminder that as we venture further into the age of AI, the most important thing is to stay grounded in our own values.
Absolutely.
Our own humanity and our own sense of agency.
I agree.
AI can be a powerful ally, but ultimately the power to shape our lives still lies within each of us.
Well said. And thanks for joining me on this deep dive. It's been a fascinating exploration.
Absolutely. And to our listener, we encourage you to continue exploring this, ever-evolving world of AI.
Yeah.
Discover how it can help you turn aspirations into achievements and live a more fulfilling life.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking the deep dive with us.